Buddy, it's Steve Katsikaris, Norland Coboconk Watchdog. Today is September 11th, 2019, and myself and my brother Chris Katsikaris are now criminals. That's right, criminals. And we're just going to hold our band-aids up here. Hold your...
The Constitution just died today.
There you go, folks.
The Attorney General of Canada has now taken your Constitution and wiped his ass with it. That's what it means inside his courthouses.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see the Band-Aids on our fingers. So since we were found guilty today of criminal harassment and mischief, which we did not do, we had to give a DNA sample for the DNA center or whatever it is for criminals. So they're going to scan all our blood with every criminal element out there, and it also goes international too. I'm going to go through the documents a little bit later on the internet to show you the baloney that's going on here. So the good thing is, if you're a student in law, especially for the kids at Ryerson or any other legal school, you're going to take a look for courtroom 404 on September 10th and September 11th, 2019. It'll be Steve Katsikaris and Chris Katsikaris versus the Crown, and you're not going to be able to find it in case law. And I'll be going through showing you the secret hearings and how they've just declared myself and my brother are now a terrorist. That's right. And this little piece of paper here, believe it or not, stretches across the ocean. That's right. I'm going to go through it a little bit later and how this order is now in force internationally. So that proves they've declared us terrorists and criminals. But you won't be able to find it anywhere in case law. So we're going to go through that and how I'm going to show you how they've done this. And it's called royal assent. And the whole thing is when they brought out the anti-terrorist laws under Bill C-36, the Queen has given them the right to go and weed out terrorists like Al-Qaeda, ISIS, stuff like that, not community watchdogs, okay? So what the government has done, that's the Attorney General of Canada, is use these anti-terrorist laws illegally, and where he and she, because it was also Jody Ray Wilson and Mr. Lamente, it's called royal assent, where you're allowed to go ahead and use these laws for terrorists only, not community watchdogs, and you must respect the Charter and rights and freedoms. And I'm going to go over that too, where the Canadian government is involved in breaking the anti-terrorist laws themselves and using it to go after community watchdogs. Now, since we've had machine guns and explosives detonated and plus an aircraft flying over, which I got a tail number for, this all fits under the criteria of terrorism. So I'm going to now apply this law right back at the federal government of Canada and saying, you've now unlawfully made us terrorists and criminals, but I have the evidence in my possession that I'm going to prove to the Canadian people what kind of traitors you are, going and doing stuff like this, and actually demonstrating the law where it can be applied that the federal cabinet, including the Attorney General of Canada, is now an entity of terror and actually has committed acts of terrorist activities here in Canada, starting right here on Trails End Road, Norland. And now you just did a hoax prosecution against my brother and I, and now you put this international terrorist thing on us, where this order is now not just here in Canada, but across the ocean, and it says so right on there. And I'm going to go over that a little bit later on. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'm also going to send that straight to the head of state, Julie Payette, and I'm going to say that the Attorney General is out of control. So is the federal government, and they just broke royal assent. And I just sent you all those documents, including the homicide report, where the York Regional Police, OPP, and Durham Regional Police were in a conspiracy way back in 2014 trying to find a way to pop me off up here on Trails End, which happened when 2 years later, July 28, 2016 at 5:30 p.m. when they detonated and blew the doors off. And once again, I went to court for all this in January 5th and 6th, 2017 at Old Toronto City Hall. And once again, if you put my name into case law, that case doesn't come up either, because they're all under what they call secret hearings or private applications. And you can find it in the criminal code under 507.1 number 11. And that's where the Attorney General gives the consent for these courts down at the provincial level to do all these cruel things to people. And you're no longer a human. You're no longer have the guarantee of the Queen and the Charter and Rights and Freedoms. And under royal assent, they're not supposed to do that unless you're actually a terrorist, which we're not. We're community watchdogs and politicians. My brother is a proud member of the New People's Party of Canada, and I'm the Norland Coboconk Watchdog. So I'm just looking out for the taxpayer and the environment, and you can see what's going on here. And now my brother, and that's also what they've done here is wrong, it's called association. So since I'm the watchdog and they don't like me, they take this out on my brother and make him a terrorist too. My brother didn't do anything wrong. He's never done anything wrong. He's pretty law-abiding. So am I. That's why I do this. If I was a criminal, I wouldn't be a watchdog. That'd be kind of stupid. Imagine that. Anyways, I just thought I'd put this up on the internet and show people our little bandages that we had to give a blood sample down at the Oshawa Courthouse today. And now we've been supposedly convicted for criminal harassment and mischief at courtroom 404 on this day, September 11th. That's right, yeah, at 911. Go figure, eh, Chris? That's the anniversary of friggin' terrorist attack in New York. Go figure. Wow. Anyways. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, well, I'll have to go over some of this paperwork. Yeah, it looks like we see some blank spaces on this paperwork too. So this is definitely a hoax prosecution. But we thought we'd get it out there and let people know that my brother, my family, and I are proud Canadians. We stand with the Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, and we're against the police state big time, and we're also against corruption in government. That's why the government hates us. It's because we're law-abiding as citizens, and we want the government to do what? Be law-abiding too. But right now the government says they're above the law, and we need to get back to the roots of history of our Constitution, which really is what? Magna Carta. That's right, I'll go over that in one of my next videos, showing the origins of our Constitution and why it's so important that we make sure that government follows the rules and laws, because we as citizens also have to follow the rules and laws too. So the government needs to lead by example, you know, a second sober look too, a responsible government with Sir J. Macdonald. Anyways, that's another history lesson for down the road. But I just thought I'd get it out there and tell the people of Norland Coboconk that the Norland Coboconk Watchdog is still out there fighting for the Queen's laws, still going to nail all this corruption and all these crooked cops. I'm going to be going to court. We're not going to break the law. And we're going to nail these guys, because once again, we still have the Queen's sword in our hand, and this was a low-level court, so we're going to take it to the next level court, and we want you to come with us, and I want to show you the documents and the evidence that I have on the federal government of Canada and also the police, all involved in municipal corruption regarding these illegal sewage systems here in Norland, Ontario. Maybe that's why the beaches are closed. Maybe that's why it's not safe to drink the water. It's because people are involved in corruption and here in the city of Kawartha Lakes, starting with who? Emmett Yo. Yeah, that's a whole new story. But anyways, I'm Steve Katsikaris, your Norland Coboconk Watchdog. Stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to start posting these. I'm going to go over the documents, what's going on in the Oshawa Courthouse. And I got to go to court tomorrow, believe it or not, on the 12th, because I was beaten up the other week there, back in August 25th. And now I have to go and answer for an assault charge. But really, once again, I'm not charged for assault. I'm charged for being a witness again. Same with this case, 706-707. Anyways, said enough. Everybody have a good day, and so long. Take care.